The end is near, and we are at the end of Series 10, and this could be Peter Capaldi's final episode as the Doctor. Oh my word, the reality is coming true. Peter Capaldi is actually leaving Doctor Who in a couple of days' time. Is this going to be his regeneration story? Is he going to regenerate? Oh my word, there are so many questions that are still not answered yet, but hopefully all of those questions will be answered in the final episode of Series 10, The Doctor Falls. And I hope you have enjoyed all of the previews and reviews from my channel over the past couple of months, but good things need to come to an end, as this is going to be my final preview until the 2017 Christmas special. So enjoy this preview while you still can, and let's just hope that Moffat succeeds with this epic finale to hopefully conclude this amazing series to an end. Series 10 has been absolutely amazing. Can Moffat make this the best possible series ever with this epic finale? Well, let's find out in my preview on The Doctor Falls. Series 10 is coming to an end, and it's time for us to get ready for Peter Capaldi's regeneration. Enough talking, let's begin the preview.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another Doctor Who preview. Now today I'm going to be talking about my theories and my thoughts, what could possibly happen within the final episode, the final part of the Series 10 finale, The Doctor Falls. And my word, this is my final preview for this series until the 2017 Christmas special, which I'm not too sure if Peter Capaldi will be in that episode for the Christmas special, because I'm surely thinking that, judging by the synopsis, which is a very short synopsis, we'll get to a bit later on, is that this is going to be the Doctor's final battle. And I'm thinking to myself, right, that this is going to be the Doctor's final battle with Missy and Johnson's Master, then surely enough this is going to be his regeneration episode. Or is it? I mean, we don't know for sure if he's actually going to be regenerating in this episode. I've had my theories for quite a while, but I just really want to say that this is going to be the final preview until the 2017 Christmas special, and then that's it. That's Series 10 over. And just going back in time, just when I did my first ever preview for Doctor Who Series 10, the first episode of Series 10, the pilot, I never thought I was going to get any likes or any views whatsoever, but it felt like that everybody was so intrigued to Series 10, and my gosh, Series 10 has gone so fast. It's been an absolutely incredible series. It's been one hell of a series. So let's just hope that this finale concludes this series to a successful end. I just hope that Moffat just truly does not muck this episode off, because he's done it again in the past. He's done it in many other finales, but I do not want a recreation of what he did with last series, Hellbent. I do not want a recreation for that. But what I'm saying is about the regeneration, that I always have so many theories of what could possibly happen with the Doctor's regeneration. Now, I said in my preview, I thought it was my review, I think, it might be one or the other, but I did say that my theories on Peter Capaldi's regeneration, I think that the Doctor will regenerate in this episode, but I don't think we'll find out until the Christmas special who he has regenerated into. But over the past couple of days, I've been thinking about the regeneration, and I've been watching all of the episodes from Series 10, and I've watched one episode in particular which I didn't really find all that enjoying at all. It was The Lie of the Land, and when I saw Bill shooting the Doctor, it made me wonder about the regeneration a bit more, and then I thought to myself, and the theory grew deeper and deeper and deeper. And so here's my theory. When Bill shot the Doctor and his regeneration started to happen, we thought it was going to be his regeneration, but no, it wasn't his regeneration. It was only a prank regeneration. However, thinking about that regeneration, over the past couple of episodes, has he been keeping that regeneration energy to himself? Has he been always on the blink to regenerate, but has he always confined that regeneration energy? Has he contained that regeneration energy? And if he has, then maybe to this point, to the end of the finale, perhaps maybe that regeneration energy could become too unstable for the Doctor to handle, and therefore he might just have to release that regeneration energy and regenerate into the next person who will become the next Doctor. So that's what my theories are. I think that it sounds like a really good theory that from the lie of the land, from that regeneration, he's been trying to confine that regeneration energy. He's trying to contain this, but until now, the end of the finale, he might have to release all of that unstable regeneration energy and regenerate. So that's what I probably think. But Peter Capaldi did say that he has been filming for the Christmas special, but I'm not too sure if he is going to be in the Christmas special a lot. I think he is going to be in it for a short, significant amount of time for it. But I don't think he's going to be in it all throughout the entire episode for the Christmas special. I think he's merely going to be in it for maybe only a minute or so. But I doubt he's going to be there in the entire episode. So I think he might regenerate in this episode, but I don't think he will regenerate into the next person until the Christmas special, which that will leave us on an epic cliffhanger for us to find out who is the next Doctor. So there are so many possibilities of what could happen with the regeneration theories. I mean, possibly it could be just another prank, but we might just have to wait and find out. And so we might as well move on to the actual synopsis itself. And as I said to myself, it is a very, very short synopsis. So, the Mondasian Cybermen are on the rise, and it's time for the Doctor's final battle. And that's it. No more words after that. That's very much two sentences. The Mondasian Cybermen are on the rise, and it's time for the Doctor's final battle. Now, mentioning about the Doctor's final battle, that means that it must be that this episode must be his regeneration episode. He might regenerate, or if not, then it might be just another prank or something like that. But it's written by Steven Moffat, yet again, and it's directed by Rachel Talalay, which also directed World Enough in Time, and also the other two previous finales from Series 8 and also from Series 9 as well. And so therefore she has also directed Hellbent, which we don't need a recreation of it in this episode. But also there is the Doctor in it, played by Peter Capaldi, Bill as Pearl Mackie, Nardo as Matt Lucas, Michelle Gomez guest stars as Missy, and John Sims as the Master. Now, as I said that Bill was going to be in this episode, I don't think she is. I just pray to God that Moffat does not bring Bill back, because the process is permanent, and if she has been converted to become a Cyberman, then the conversion must be permanent. And so I'm not too sure if Moffat might have the power to bring Bill back from cyber conversion, or maybe something might happen. Maybe Bill might have some emotions, and I think she might just give out a little bit of dialogue just before she just got converted, because I doubt she would give out any sort of dialogue whatsoever within this episode, because she's fully converted. Her voice has now become like a Mondasian Cyberman. So I don't think that Bill will be, you know, back in this episode. I'm truly praying that Moffat just keeps this promise of his and keeps Bill as a Mondasian Cyberman, because the conversion is permanent. There is no way to bring Bill back, because if Steven Moffat does bring Bill back, then it's a recreation of Hellbent all over again. Just like what happened with Clara in Face the Raven. What happened in Hellbent? Steven Moffat brought Clara back from the dead. Although I like Clara as a companion, but I thought that her appearance in Hellbent was illogical and not necessary at all. Although it was quite emotional, but it just did not work out, and that's why many people hated Hellbent because of that, and many people blamed it on Steven Moffat as one of the worst episodes in Modern Who of all time. And it is ranked by many people that many people absolutely hate Hellbent. And many people are criticising all over on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram that Steven Moffat needs to succeed with The Doctor Falls, this final part of the Series 10 finale. If Moffat does not do a good job, then everybody will be truly glad that he is finally leaving of Doctor Who, because I think he's done enough damage for the fans already. If he does another Hellbent, then good riddance to Steven Moffat. But if he makes a truly amazing epic finale, then good on you, Steven Moffat, good on you. But now we're going to move on to the promo images now, which we have for this finale. Now, I'm looking at the photos right now, and I can see one right at the moment, if you can probably see that. I love that promo picture right there. And it might be on my Doctor Who review for the Doctor 4s on my thumbnail, so it might be on there, so you might just have to wait and find out. But I absolutely love that promo image. I think it's absolutely an amazing promo image because I love the Doctor in there, Missy and also John Sims, and then also in the background you have the Mondasian Cybermen, which I am a bit criticising. Why do the Cybermen fly? I mean, the Mondasian Cybermen aren't supposed to fly. Did they fly back in the classic series? No. Then why should they fly now? It doesn't make sense. But I think Moffat might make the Cybermen fly, which might piss off a lot of people, because do the Cybermen fly? Did the Age of Steel Cybermen fly? No. Did the Nightmare in Silver Cybermen fly? In Death in Heaven that they did. But do they really need to be flying? No, it just doesn't really connect to me. Because when I think about Cybermen, do I think about flying Cybermen? No, I do not think about... I honestly do not want the Mondasian Cybermen to fly in this episode. I mean, surely enough, the conversions are surely enough. They don't have like rocket technology and stuff like that to basically blast off the Mondasian Cybermen into space. Surely enough, that won't happen, will it? Unless Steven Moffat has really created that sort of kind of advanced technology that the Cybermen have now got the technology to have rockets on their feet to blast up themselves into outer space. And surely enough that won't happen. But there is another image that I really want to show you right now, just hopefully it loads up. And it is that, let me just get it zoomed out. I'm just actually going to, turn it around so you'll be able to see it better. And it's this image right here. It's the Doctor with Missy and John Sims Master. Now, one thing that I really like, that I'm really hoping that this episode does, I hope it continues from World Enough in Time, from when the cliffhanger ended. I hope that this episode begins where the episode last took place, because in many times in finales, I sort of see what Moffat did in Hellbent. Basically, the Doctor was on Gallifrey, and then in Hellbent, he was in like a completely different destination. I think he was in, I don't know, sort of like American kind of state, and he was in like a desert kind of location. So how the hell did he get from Gallifrey to this desert landscape? So I'm hoping that he doesn't go from one setting to another setting, and it has to be some timey-wimey explanation of how, well, from one episode they came to this location and stuff like that. So I do hope that this episode continues from World Enough in Time. I seriously hope so. But there is another promo image that I'm really, really happy about. It's this one. I absolutely adore that promo image. It looks absolutely stunning with John Sims Master and Missy. Now, I was mentioning in my review on World Enough in Time that Missy should not be the Master, and I think John Sims Master has always been the Master. He has never regenerated. However, oh, sorry about that, guys. I just had a little phone call, which I'm just rejecting right now. It truly made sense in World Enough in Time that Missy didn't know John Sims, but John Sims knew Missy as a future incarnation. Surely the Master can remember their past incarnations, but not their future incarnations. So how the hell did John Sims Master know that Missy was the Master's future incarnation? But then, if that's so, how come if Missy didn't know John Sims Master, then therefore Missy overall should not be the Master? It just made sense in my mind that Missy should not be the Master. She should be like, I don't know, a character like the Rani. Or maybe this entire thing about Missy being the Master is just a prank. It's just a fake kind of scandal. But I'm not too sure. But I do like that promo image right there. I absolutely love John Sims Master and Missy side by side. They feel like they're so associating with each other, and they feel like they're such in a good agreement with each other. They look such of a good pair with each other. I really, really like that image. I think it's a really, really good shot. But also this image also looks very, very interesting as well, just looking at it right now. It looks like that Missy might turn upon John Sims in this episode as well. Not only that they might be in league with each other, they might go against each other as well. Look at here. You can see that Missy cannot be bothered with John Sims, and it looks like that John Sims is actually leaving Missy. So, is John Sims' Master and Missy are in league with each other? or are they going to go against each other? Are they going to form an alliance with the Doctor in this episode? Because there was one shot in the TV trailer which they showed a image where there was the Doctor holding his sonic screwdriver, you had the Master with his laser screwdriver, and then you had Missy, which sort of looked like an umbrella, but it could be a sonic umbrella or something like that, facing off against what looked like to be like an army of Cybermen. So it looks like to me that the Doctor is pairing up an alliance with Johnson's Master and Missy. So here's my theory, that this episode might have some betrayals, some alliances, and then some betrayals again. So there might be an overall debate of whether who should be in league with, like, is the Doctor going to join with Johnson's Master and Missy, or is Missy going to leave John Sims and pair up with Peter Capaldi as the Doctor? So I'm not too sure. I think there's going to be quite a lot of betrayals and alliances, but I really like how all of the three Time Lords are alliancing and they're going to face the Time Lord on their own, because I feel like that when the Cybermen in the classic series, they did not have anybody in league with them. I mean, they weren't they weren't soldiers of like another intelligent race or something else. They were the supreme beings. And what I really like about the Cybermen is that they don't take any prisoners. They don't work for anybody else. So I hope that maybe Moffat executes the Cybermen really, really well. And I hope that maybe Missy and John Sims might think that they've got the Cybermen on their side, but unfortunately the Cybermen actually might go against John Sims' Master and also with Missy as well. So I'm thinking that maybe if the Cybermen do go against John Sims' Master and Missy, then it will just show you how powerful and how superior the Cybermen really are without needing any assistance whatsoever from the Master or Missy. So I'm just really hoping that maybe if the Cybermen could turn upon against John Sims' Master and Missy, and therefore the Doctor might have to join up with Missy and the Master to hopefully defeat all these Cybermen. So it really will be a fantastic final episode, but everything could possibly go wrong with the descriptions and the explanations from Steven Moffat. Now, mentioning about explanations, I really want to clear up this bit that I have in my head. How the hell did John Sims' Master return in Doctor Who? I mean, from the End of Time Part 2, how the hell did he came back? I mean, what are his motives to come back? I mean, I don't know if we'll probably get an explanation from Steven Moffat to explain how the hell did John Sims' Master come back in this episode, or ever came back in this finale. So I'm probably wondering how the hell did John Sims' Master return for this series? I mean, surely enough, he didn't really just pop out of nowhere. There must be an actual explanation. But with Moffat, is he actually going to bother with, continuing the timeline from the End of Time Part 2 to this? I'm not too sure. I hope he gives a good explanation, because I really want some backstory. I really want to know where the Master's been all this time, because it just seems very, very odd to say, oh, John Sims' Master has disappeared. Wait, how come in the End of Time Part 2 he disappeared, and now in 2018 he's back again? How does that make sense? So I'm just hoping that maybe Steven Moffat could probably give a little explanation of how John Sims' Master came back in this series, because I'm just really intrigued, because it seems illogical for me, because surely enough from the End of Time Part 2, surely the Master should have been in contact, but he's been an absolute complete mystery, and how the hell did he came back in this series? I have no idea. So I would really, really like an explanation from Steven Moffat, but can I guarantee one? Not really. I mean, Steven Moffat might not even bother with an explanation. But also, will Steven Moffat reveal that Missy is not the Master? Or if Missy is truly the Master, then will John Sims' Master regenerate into Missy to fully prove that? I have no idea of what could possibly happen with all of the theories in my mind. I mean, honestly, there are so many theories of what could possibly happen with this final episode. And I feel like that our theories are really, really interesting, but when it comes to Steven Moffat's theories, sometimes his theories aren't really brilliant at all, and sometimes they go so stupid, and sometimes they can become so diabolical that it completely ruins the entire episode itself. So I'm just truly hoping that Moffat does not recreate what he did in Hell Bent. But also what I have right here is that I have a very little short slip of paper which I wrote down a little quote from an article that I read just a couple moments ago, and it said from the Doctor's point of view, he says, Who I am is where I stand, but where I stand is where I fall. That's the quote that the Doctor gave out in that little article, and I had a read through of that quote. Who I am is where I stand, but where I stand is where I fall. That is really, really something else of a quote. I mean, that's probably up there with one of his best speeches, like with one with Thin Ice. I think that really just explains how that's not who I am. If the Doctor's being forced to not to do something that he doesn't want to do, he'll probably go out and say, that's not who I am. But where I stand is where he'll fall. So maybe if he stands aside with Missy and the Master, is that the point where he falls? I'm not too sure. Maybe that could be the possibility. But also there is something else that I also have in my mind. I remembered about how since this entire ship is edging towards a black hole, so I'm thinking that maybe should the Doctor send the ship back into the black hole to prevent all of the Cybermen from destroying the entire universe? Does he actually want the Cybermen to rule the universe? But if he does that, if he sends the entire ship into the black hole, does that risk the lives of all of the innocent lives on the ship as well? Does he commit genocide? Possibly. That's one of the most difficult decisions of his life. Can he risk working alongside Johnson's Master? Where he stands is where he falls. So perhaps maybe working alongside Johnson's Master and Missy is perhaps where he falls. So that's actually a really, really good quote, and it really just sums up what he's planning to do at the end of this episode. So I'm really fully intrigued for this episode, because I hope that maybe Peter Capaldi will regenerate in this episode, because it truly says in the synopsis that it's the time for the Doctor's final battle. So I'm definitely thinking it's going to be either his official regeneration, or it might be just another fake regeneration, or I could just be completely wrong that he's been keeping all of his regeneration energy for such a long time, and the regeneration energy is just building up and building up to become that unstable kind of force that the Doctor has to release all of that regeneration energy out and regenerate into the next person. But we won't find out who he has regenerated into until the Christmas special. So that's going to leave us on an epic cliffhanger for us. So I'm really, really excited, but also I'm really cautious, because I know what Steven Moffat can do. He's very clever, he can become very silly, and sometimes very idiotic as well. Because with a finale like this, it has the makings to become one of the best finales of all time. I can't really see this going wrong unless Moffat really presents us with something absolutely diabolical. So this episode could make or break the entire series, because I'm judging this episode on how the entire series has played out. I'm hoping that maybe this finale will have a brilliant, successful conclusion to succeed with this brilliant series as a whole. I'm just really hoping for a miracle. I think everybody in the Doctor Who community is praying for a miracle that Steven Moffat does not ruin this entire episode, this entire finale. This entire finale needs to be successful. If Moffat can steady himself with not bringing Bill back and not making the Mundassing Cybermen fly, then I will forgive him. And if he does an absolutely tremendous episode, then I will forgive him as a whole for all of the rubbish episodes he has done. I would even forgive him for what he did for Hell Bent. So I'm offering some great gratitude. If Steven Moffat succeeds, then I will overall be happy with this episode entirely, and with the entire finale as well. So I'm really, really looking forward to see everything for this finale, but I can see this episode is going to have a lot of Cybermen being blown up to smithereens. I can see a lot of fighting, a lot of battle sequences. I can see that the Doctor and Johnson's Master and Missy could be pairing up an alliance. Johnson's Master and Missy probably dancing and having a little, master time, if you know what I mean. Like, they have some, some of their time. I think maybe if the Master and Missy could maybe associate with their past history of their, future and past incarnations of themselves. So maybe they may have a little bit of a backstory. But I'm hopefully that this episode is going to be really, really intriguing. Because you can obviously see that this episode is seen as one of the most intriguing episodes, but also it could be also one of the most disappointing episodes if Moffat truly mucks up. I mean, obviously, I'm going to use some swearing words in a minute, guys. I hope Moffat truly doesn't fuck up this episode, or hopefully does not fuck up the overall finale itself, because there's already been so much brilliant build-up to the Doctor falls, and maybe even the title explains itself. Does the Doctor truly falls over a pebble? Does he trip over his own feet? Does he land flat on his face? And will he suffer the consequences? Will he regenerate? Is there going to be an explanation to Johnson's Master? How the hell did he came back in this series? Will there be an explanation to see if Missy's not the Master, then who is she exactly? Has Johnson's Master always been the Master? Has he never regenerated? I really want to find out everything, because there are so many questions that haven't been answered, and I really want to get some answers in this episode. So I'm hoping, Moffat, please do not muck this episode up. I'm really begging Moffat, you need to do so well. I could be just talking to myself about Moffat needs to do a really good job, but every single day from here on now, I will be praying for a miracle. Every single hour, I'll pray for Moffat to say, Moffat, please do not muck up this episode. Please do one of the best episodes ever. Amen. And then hopefully he will do what we ask, because we do not need a recreation of what happened in Series 9 at the end of that finale. We do not need another recreation. So I'm hoping that Bill stays as a Mondasian Cyberman. I hope that this episode is truly intriguing with so many plot lines, plot twists, surprises, shocks. I just really hope for an absolutely banging episode, just like what happened with World Enough and Time. I just hope for everything, guys. But also I do hope that maybe they can conclude the plot line to a significant points, because I feel like that the plotline has been truly simple, because it's always been the build up, but there is still a second episode to go. But I feel like that will judge upon the plotline for my review after when I've watched The Doctor Falls, because I feel like that the plot will truly add up and truly conclude in a successful way, that it will truly make sense after when the episode has truly finished. But I can't really judge upon the plotline at the moment of how it will play out, but I hope the plotline is really strong. I hope it's absolutely solid as a rock. I hope it's one of Moffat's best ever plotlines of all time. And I truly hope that the Mondasian Cybermen and also all of the rest of the other Cybermen, I mean, how the hell did they appear in this episode as well? I mean, this is something I really want to touch upon just before we end this preview. I mean, how the hell are they going to introduce all of the other incarnations of the Cybermen back in this episode? I mean, surely enough, the Mondasian Cybermen aren't just going to be the only Cybermen appearing. There's going to be multiple other Cybermen. But how the hell did they appear in the first place as well? So I think that from the concept that Moffat introduced, that as you're closer to the source of gravity, time slows down, and if you're near to the black hole, time really begins, like almost as usual, goes really fast. So I'm thinking that at the bottom of the ship, when you've got the Mondasian Cybermen, when you've got the whole process of people becoming Mondasian Cybermen, I'm thinking that the entire process goes at a much slower pace. And so when you move up the ship, perhaps that process becomes much faster, and I think the technology kind of builds up, and I think it goes into more like advanced technology to build more advanced Cybermen, so that really introduces more of the incarnations of John Lumick's Cybermen from like the Age of Steel and the Rise of the Cybermen from 2006, and I'm thinking that also, you know, adds up to the Nightmare and Silver Cybermen as well. So as you go up into the ship, and as time goes by, the process becomes a lot faster, and I think the technology at that time becomes a whole lot more advanced, and therefore that will be able to create all of the other versions of the Cybermen. So that's probably my theory on it. I think that really just sums up how all of these other versions are introduced. As you go up into the ship, time moves very quickly. So I'm thinking that maybe when the Mondasian Cybermen are moving at a much slower pace with their conversions, other parts of the ship may be building up new Cybermen, so the process of conversion must be much faster and the technology must be more advanced. So I bet that what happens with all of the other Cybermen being introduced with this episode, because I feel like that multiple Cybermen are coming back in a finale. How the hell did they get introduced in the first place? Well, that completely just sums up how all of the other Cybermen are introduced in this episode. So I'm really glad that was all, you know, cleared up, because I really like the entire thing of bringing new Cybermen back. But just the one thing that really hates me a lot is that why do the Mondasian Cybermen need to fly? I mean, they don't fly, they don't need to fly. So I'm just saying to myself right now that the Cybermen do not need to fly. I know that the Nightmare and Silver Cybermen flew in the Dark Water and Death in Heaven, but did the Mondasian Cybermen fly, and also did the John Lumic Cybermen fly as well? Did they? No. Then why should they fly? It doesn't make sense. Unless Moffat has really made the entire Cybermen bunch of a little soldiers. I bet they won't even make Cybermen even threatening. I want Steven Moffat to make these Cybermen so threatening and so superior that they don't need any, you know, powers from the Master or Missy. So I feel like that the Cybermen will take their own advantage and start their own war between them, and also with other people trying to convert other people into Cybermen. So I feel like they won't need Missy and the Master. So that's probably my theory on these Cybermen, because I really want these Cybermen to become very superior. I want them to become scary. I want them to become threatening, like what they became in the classic series. They were absolutely a monster in the classic series, and right now they don't really feel that intimidating. I just hope that Steven Moffat makes the Cybermen great again. That's what I truly hope for this finale. But I feel like that we've covered much everything for this preview. I mean, what are the kind of whole points to the Doctor's regeneration? Is the Doctor going to truly regenerate in this episode? Has it been containing a lot of unstable regeneration energy that he might release in this episode and might regenerate until the Christmas special, where we find out who is the next Doctor? So that's my theory on the regeneration theories. But also I do hope that we'll get a little bit of backstory of how did John Stamos Master appear in this series, and how did he come back, what are his motives for this episode with Missy. I'm really intrigued for this episode, but also I'm trying to be a bit cautious, and I'm a bit anxious to see if Moffat can really muck up this episode, because if he does, then I feel like that every single Doctor Who fan will come over to his house, and I think will absolutely knock the hell out of Moffat for creating one of the worst finales ever. And I think he's built up so well. He's like recreated Series 9, but I truly hope he does not muck up this entire finale, not only for himself, but I hope he does not ruin it for Peter Capaldi's Doctor. I hope for a miracle, and let's just hope that Moffat does not fuck up this entire finale. I'm just really hoping for a miracle. But anyway guys, I think that really concludes for this preview. So thank you very much guys for watching for this preview. I hope you have enjoyed it. Make sure you leave a like on this video, and also comment down below and tell me your theories and your thoughts for what could possibly happen within the Doctor Falls. Perhaps the Doctor really just tripped over his own feet or something like that. But anyway, make sure you do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure you hit that little bell for all the notifications from me, and make sure you look out for my review for the Doctor Falls. My word, my last ever review until the Christmas special. Oh my word, it's coming close to the end. And Peter Capaldi, I certainly don't want you to go. You've been an absolutely fantastic Doctor, and I wish that you could stay on for another series or two, because I seriously don't want you to go. But I will do another separate video where I will talk about my theories of why I like Peter Capaldi and why he is my favourite Doctor of all time. And no matter who he has regenerated into the Christmas special, Peter Capaldi will always remain my favourite Doctor, because from the start I've loved this Doctor, and for me Peter Capaldi is my Doctor. And I will hopefully tell you guys in another video after Series 10. And so yes, that is the entire preview, my final preview for this series until the Christmas special preview, which will hopefully be in December. Well, yes, obviously it's in Christmas time. Surely it will be definitely in December, but we might get some little trailers or something like that probably until then. But anyway guys, thank you very much for watching for this preview, and I will see you guys next time for my review, my final review of Doctor Who Series 10, The Doctor Falls. Make sure you stick around for that, and I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.